All right, before it gets too dark, I'm gonna do a little spiel about Bob Dylan and John Lennon's conversion to Christianity. Late 70s. I knew about Bob Dylan's conversion. That's well known because he did a series of albums after he converted, and it was public knowledge. It was not public knowledge with John Lennon, actually. I think that especially Yoko Ono did not want it to be public, and she was against him becoming born again, and it was very short lived. So much that it happened apparently in 1977, which I believe was before Dylan's conversion, and it was it was partly due to John Lennon's watching televangelists like Jim Baker and what's his name? Sorry, I'm blanking on the name. I did a video recently about John Lennon's alleged letter to Oral Roberts, which I think was a forgery, personally. That was it from 1972, but this came later. This is 1977, and this is an established fact. This is not open to argument, really, or debate. It is an established fact. I was really not aware of it myself. I think probably not a lot of people were aware or even are aware that John Lennon had that born again period, but it was very short lived. And when Bob Dylan came out with his what was it, 1979 album, Slow Train Coming, which was his first album, I believe, after his conversion to Christianity, and it was kind of like a gospel rock album. John quickly wrote a song, like a scathing attack on Dylan's song, or a scathing riposte to Dylan's "Gotta Serve Somebody," which was the biggest song on Slow Train Coming. "Gotta Serve Somebody" actually won a Grammy that year, or 1979, 1980, won a Grammy. And it's still one of Bob Dylan's biggest songs, right? You got to serve somebody. It may be the devil or maybe the Lord, but you got to serve somebody. Now, Dylan's song was actually kind of funny. You got to listen to it, and it's actually humorous. It's one of Bob Dylan's funniest songs, actually. And John Lennon's song is very funny, too. And he never released it, except it's on the John Lennon anthology, but apparently he did a number of versions over the course of from 1979 to 1980, probably before he died, where he was basically arguing with Bob Dylan. He didn't mention Bob Dylan by name. In his song is called "Serve Yourself," right? It's his answer to Bob Dylan's "Gotta Serve Somebody." It's called "Serve Yourself." You can listen to it. Just go to Spotify. I'll put the link in the description here too. It's a fascinating song, actually, and I will do a video just on that song itself, looking closely at "Gotta Serve Somebody" and "Serve Yourself," and what it tells us about two of the greatest artists of the 20th century. Bob Dylan's now into the 21st century, of course. I saw Bob Dylan recently in concert, 82 years old. It was okay. I didn't think it was great, but it was, considering he's 82 years old, it was amazing, actually. And it's going to be interesting to see how long he lives and how long he keeps doing concerts and tours. But he's still going strong. And I think John Lennon was somewhat of a tortured soul. Bob Dylan, maybe not so much. But both of them probably, had quite a journey. And I think John Lennon especially he kind of went back and forth about things, right? He would make these big public pronouncements only to become born again. He would say, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in Krishna. I don't believe in Buddha. I think that was on his song God from 1970 after the Beatles broke up. I think the thing that he found most troubling with Bob Dylan, what happened with Dylan, was that Dylan became very fundamentalist, and he was like, this is the only way, right? And it's either you serve God or you serve the devil. There's no two ways about it. And John Lennon also didn't like the aspect of proselytizing, right? To win souls for Christ, which I think a lot of people are turned off by, including myself. I was a Bob Dylan fan starting in 1991 when I really first found out about him. So this was well after his conversion. I didn't know about his conversion to Christianity. When I found out about Dylan's conversion to Christianity, I was troubled. Being Jewish, from a Jewish background, because I thought Bob Dylan was going against much of what he sang about previously, right? He was all about thinking for yourself, not following leaders, watch your parking meters, being a free thinker and a freewheeler. Now, I understand that let's just say that I can absolutely understand the conversion because I've been there myself, right? So I'm just telling you what I was thinking at the time. When I found out about John Lennon, also I kind of felt the same way. It's like this goes against everything he was doing up until that point. And suddenly, right before his death, basically 1977, 3 years before his death, he finds Jesus. And I think the question with John Lennon is, I think he was really struggling with Jesus, right, until his death. And I think he was probably going back and forth about it, and he was maybe he had come to terms with that issue before he died. I don't know, but I think the thing with Dylan, where he was writing this song that was a response to Dylan, was his way of working through it, right? And he also wrote a song right before he died to Yoko Ono, where he basically forswore his conversion to Christianity, and he said that Yoko really saved him, not Jesus. This is a big subject. Obviously, I'm kind of at a loss for words. I wanted to just bring it up for discussion, hear your thoughts on it, and of course, everyone is going to have different opinion about these kinds of things. We're all in a different place on our own journeys. I think John Lennon was right in a way in being against the issue of this is the only way, right? There's only one way to God, and it's Jesus. And his also being more of a Buddhist than a Christian, in the sense that he liked Buddhists because they didn't proselytize, although I think Buddhists have also proselytized in the past, or even fought wars, over religion. As I understand it, that's something we'd have to look into, but I think John was against the onward Christian soldier, militant proselytizing attitude, and I think he was correct about that. I think he was he was correct in understanding that there is no right way, and there are many paths, many ways, and that's why proselytizing is not necessary, because it's not warranted, because there are many different ways. Yeah, give me a second, bud. Okay, give me 1 second, bud. So I'm gonna sign off, and I thank you for listening. I'm gonna continue this though. I think it's fascinating subject, and John Lennon's the the anniversary of his death was just the other day, so I'm continuing on the subject, and I'm also started to write a book about this, and I will definitely go into the subject of Dylan and Lennon's conversion in the book. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in, and yeah. See you very soon. Rock on.